It's rare to see such a stark contrast. I thought one between utility and tasteful elegance. Meaning and purpose are the evident mark the once bustling Great Northern Railroad certainly defined in 1893. Today's corporations, with endless policies and, well, regulatory practices, would certainly be jealous of its near perfect execution and unyielding efficiency for the times. The Great Northern Railroad was simply a call, however. A call answered for the people, by the people. A route west that was reliable and economical, as well as efficient for the many pioneering souls needing a crucial artery of commerce across the vast and, well, at times, seemingly endless prairie. While studying this line, I became intrigued by a little-known area I discovered. I wanted to reach the ruins of an old roundhouse, a Great Northern Roundhouse. I was amazed that it still existed. And to my surprise, this roundhouse was certainly doomed to fail the moment its placement was decided. In this video, I am following 600 miles of Great Northern Railroad along Highway 2. If you know about it, you know about it. While filming, I quickly learned I couldn't stop at every town founded and supported by, well, the Great Northern Railroad on my quest to the forgotten roundhouse. The further I went, passing each mile marker, I noticed monuments and memories still etched in the landscape. Memories of families, towns, people, and places, once fostered and created by none other than that of the Great Northern Railroad. And now, well, sadly today, forgotten by the same ghostly railroad that once supported them. So we are on a branch line of the Great Northern Railroad, and I've been looking forward to this for a while because it is such an iconic line that cut across Northern America, one of the premier transcontinental lines. Finished in 1889, we're going to be exploring over 600 miles via Highway 2 of the Great Northern Railroad and the towns left behind in its wake of bankruptcy and closure and what remains. And it's super interesting because these towns are almost like a time capsule. So I want to explore them from an overarching point of view and see what remains in the legacy that the Great Northern has left behind in some of the most remote towns in North America and the lower 48. Join me on today's adventure as we uncover over 600 miles of historic Great Northern Railroad. This is a wonderful area. Just provides a glimpse of a major branch line of the Great Northern. Look at those foundations. The shaped rock, the granite, the concrete poured on top. And this trestle used to connect directly to a tunnel, which we've explored in a previous video. I'll provide the link if you're interested. It's nearly one of my favorite tunnels we've explored yet on this channel covering the Great Northern Railroad. Anyhow, this was a stop. I wanted to introduce you to the adventure. We're going to hit the trail and we're going to uncover what's left of the Great Northern Railroad. Look at all these trains. This right here is a rail hub of the Great Northern Railroad. And I'm kind of just checking everything out in this old town. And it looks like it's about 50 years old. Part of the Great Northern. There's all sorts of
rail police here and just all sorts of different people. Any cool landmarks. But look at all these trains all the way through. A rail hub, a real rail hub in the middle of nowhere. Look at this. Up here to our right, looks like a hotel that's seen better days. Let's check it out. Check that out. Looks like one of the doors is open. How strange. Look at this. Rev Tiger is back. Saturday, 7 p.m. Definitely abandoned. The old town of Shelby. Old rail town. Now we're gonna be cruising here down the main drag. Main drag. The old frontier town. Old railway town. Check this out. See, you can see even in the buildings architectures like the one on the left, some of the Great Northern Railroad influence. That building's actually for sale on the left, that whole plaza. It's a very quiet place. Look at some of these buildings. I do love the old signs. Some spectacular old signs here. Straight out of the 70s, it looks like. The railroad really was the main mover of people in this area. Everything else is adapted after the railroad, everything we're looking at. Pretty interesting stuff. Just a lot of trucks and trains. There's not really much else besides that. A lot of trucks and trains. Let's see what this is. Oh, it looks like there's a train coming in right now. Way down there. For $2, you can get your car wash here. Self-serve.
My next stop along the Great Northern Railroad, after I departed Shelby, of course, was a town named Keven. Keven's kind of strange. It's about 20 miles south of the Canadian border. Kevin was founded in the early 20th century. The town was named after, well, none other than Thomas Kevin, an official of a Canadian railroad. This town is located on the Kevin and Sunburst oil and gas fields. The population today, according to U.S. Census data, is about 154.
So the railroad that built this town, the Great Northern, and this is just a commemorative piece to it, but we're way out here, and as you can see, there's not too much around. It's just barren. It's kind of abandoned and just hanging on, but you can see some of this just chilling here. Isn't that cool? These old pieces. Look at this. This almost looks like this was the Great Northern passenger stop right here. It's now a senior center. But you can see just how desolate it is. Look at the oil storage way over there. We'll stop by that in a minute. I noticed this strange hook thing coming out of the ground. That definitely looks like it's Great Northern Railroad aged. I'm almost certain the tracks wrapped right around here. And this was the depot for passengers to get out. And this was some sort of stock here. Stock buildings. Really cool, but you can tell it's just very old and it's Great Northern history. And now we're kind of getting to look a little closer at everything, but you can tell this area has just been decimated by the oil field boom and bust cycle. Look at everything. I like the old equipment, all kind of strewing about. But this must have been, I don't know if this was civilian housing or this was actual employment housing or not for the oil field. Really interesting. Just so desolate. This is it. And I don't know what basin this touched, but it's just really wild looking. This here is the only watering hole for about 30 miles. Four corner bar and cafe. Behind it, there's a collection of oil dirks. I mean, a ton.
After leaving the great oil fields of the Great Northern Railway, I decided to head further down Highway 2. I saw a town on the prairie out of the corner of my eye. I decided to stop and see what it was. This town is Devon. It was established in 1909 on land donated by a Norwegian farmer. His name was Halvor Gardner. The town grew around a Great Northern Railway passenger station. It served the surrounding agricultural area and reached a peak population of around 300 people in its heyday.
At another Great Northern stop. You can see some of the grain trains, BNSF. I believe those are leased by a nearby farmer. But this was the town of Devon. This entire town lived by the means of the Great Northern. You can see the abandoned houses over here. And actually some of the rail grade and sidings that utilize these grain elevators. It's really cool. I mean, it's super remote, way out here. About an hour and a half from any town or gas station. And you can see some of the homesteads. It looks like there is some construction going on here. I believe that's all railroad construction. Not entirely sure. But check that out. Look at that siding. Look at this. This is really cool. Looks like someone shot that. Oh wow, we got a train coming. Stay. Look at that thing kicking up that dust. Wow. How cool was that? That was the Amtrak Empire Builder. We caught it going through an old Great Northern siding or stop on the main branch line. Wow, that just made my day. That was fast too. That was so fast. All that happened so fast. That is incredible. And look at that. Just as it came, it left. I really like this town. I think we ought to appreciate this old gas station a little more and drive in a bit and see what it's like. Check this old thing out. Really cool. See the old work shed. This used to be a pretty big operating town. This was a serious deal back in the day. Had its own pump and everything. Now it's no more, and it's truly a vestige of the Great Northern Railroad, which we are covering 600 miles of. I mean, there's so many stops, and I don't want the video going on forever, but I'm trying to grab as much cool little things of this historic past that you can kind of all put together and see them still living to this day. And it's really enjoyable, actually. Yeah, not much going on anymore in Devon. You can see that it looks like it's been abandoned for quite some time. I am, however, wondering though if this church is still open. Yeah. Says it's still open for Sunday Mass. Pretty cool. Really a fantastic area, and it just shows you how vital the rail lines really truly were, and how much effort went into an area like this. No matter how remote, people sought to make a living on this land. As you can see, there's nothing else around us. That looks like maybe an auto shop or maybe a government facility at one point. Really cool looking. The old light bulb's still on it. Some of this is just splendid, just splendid. Up here on the left though, that has to be one of my favorites. You see the old windmill? Look at the gas tanks and the old windmill stand right there. Really cool. It's caught in time. The Great Northern left it as it created it. Three grain silos off to our right, and a couple hoppers. I believe there's 3 hoppers over there. And the gas station. This town really tried to make it happen. Unfortunately, it was a casualty of the times and the economic turmoil of the 19th century. And yet again, I am shocked by the capsule trapped in time we have found on the plains. Even the post office, so there the rail grade is, and this is BNSF today. But there's something I saw driving into this town. Look at the post office. It's got a dock. Isn't that interesting? And another grain silo. Just too cool. Caught in time. And there's actually some other buildings up here, which we're not going to go in. And, you know, I don't want to cause too much of a scene because these people, good people, they live a quiet life. And it's evening. They're just getting around to relaxing from work or whatever. But I'm going to kind of walk along this road. I know we like getting into things in this channel, but I don't feel like this is the place to be doing that. It's just kind of a appreciation place, if you would. Another stop along the Great Northern. Decimated. See, they're repairing the roof over there. Get a look inside one of these. Crazy to think people that were in here and the lives they lived. This is the stories too. It's amazing seeing this rail history and kind of passing through. Spectacular. Someone let out their dogs. Thought they were gonna run at me for a minute. Really cool stuff. I find this exquisite. This little church tower thing. Not sure what the proper terminology is for it, but it's so cool it's out here like that. Just to kind of let people know what's going on in town. But yeah, there's a homestead over there. Really cool place. That's the house people live in. Get a few pictures of this. We'll be on our way. Driving these roads up here are almost treacherous too at night because of deer. They're so plentiful. There is no shortage of deer that like to run in front of you. So I'm kind of speeding up a little bit here, but there are plenty more stops to go. We're only 200 miles into our 600 miles. Yes. Well, I got two things going. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm hitting so many bugs. It's sounding like I'm driving through a rainstorm. Look at my windshield. The bugs are still plentiful up here. And this is the worst traffic has been for about 300 miles now. I don't know if you can see it. There's a big combine in front of me. To be honest, I'd trade that for a bunch of cars any day. Plus the sunset's just beautiful. I don't know if you can see it. Look at that. Look at that. It's that hue. This sunset. Look at that BNSF train out in the field distance. Sunsets up here are phenomenal as well. Just otherworldly. You can see so far. Good morning. As you can see, the trains are still running right on the dot along the old Great Northern Grade. I want to show you guys this and hopefully you get a kick out of it as much as me. I was driving through late, wanted to find a place to sleep, and I found nothing better than the Great Northern Bed and Breakfast. The interior decorating is exquisite, really tasteful, but I want to show you where I'm at. So this is where we're at. We're at the old First Bank building here in town, constructed in 1909, flourishing due to the traffic the Great Northern provided and goods. Let's take a minute and appreciate this. Where we're at right now, looking at this picture taken in the 1900s, early 1900, there was no electricity, no plumbing, no furnaces, but this was a bank building. And it's just awesome. Here's a quick little excerpt. And all the places I'm at right now are named after English towns on the countryside. Devon, Chester, Rudyard, Rudyard. And I believe a lot of immigrants that came through this area were English. And they were farmers. And they were seeking the farms. You see some hoppers over here. Just beautiful. Down. And this is Greta here, running the roost. But look at this. It's like a time capsule, and it's truly amazing what the folks have done to this building. The artwork is just my favorite. Some of the pictures and stuff in here just really capture that great northern energy. It's an old town. It's an old great northern town. Just splendid. Just splendid. Look at that. The elevators, people are all working. But yeah, many rooms in here, all outfitted with AC or heat. An old restored bank. Kitchen splendid as well. Very tasteful. Look at this little kitchen. So when I showed you the picture, I believe this skylight was part of the turret that they had to take down due to structural issues in the mid-1900s. But yeah, very clean, very happy with where I chose to stay, very safe. And a great glimpse in the towns that actually survived the catastrophic failure of the Great Northern, the removal of it, the economic turmoil of the times. And we're in a living vestige of history right now that I just find amazing, and I hope you get a kick out of it as much as me. We have a lot planned today, a lot more in depth than the way we've been going. I've already traveled roughly 400 miles, so I think I'm off on my 600 mile because we've still got a good 6 hours of road to go following the old Great Northern here on Highway 2. But I wanted to share this with you. Beautiful. And the sun is rising. It's going to be a high of 80 today. A beautiful day. Blue skies all around. Let's see if the wind gets us. And let's see if we can get to our next stop on the Great Northern Railroad. So now we're stepping out on the main street of the Great Northern Railway. It's the 1900s. Things are bustling. Cities are being created. And Greta might have to use the bathroom. Let's check it out. Look at this. This is it. It's the busy town. So we're leaving town. This is it. As far as you can see. And we're headed down the road, getting a lot of wind. I can feel it in the steering. But right next to us is the old Great Northern Line, now being utilized by the Amtrak Empire Builder and BNSF. But this is it. For miles and miles, just a couple sparse houses and farms. It always makes you wonder, you know, just looking out at it. Another small prairie town. And it's interesting because you see all those grain elevators, right? There's 3, and they run right along the rail grade. So that's how you'd get across to different towns. If you didn't have a wagon or horse, you just hop on the train and go to the next stop. And it's interesting because they're just so farly spaced out here from each other, and then you're back on the open road. It's really cool. Here we are approaching Rudyard, and there's actually a very highly rated restaurant up here, or burger stop, kind of styled as a Route 66 stop. It's called the Sugar Shack. And it nearly has 5 stars out of 400 reviews. So I want to snag a picture of that. They don't open until 11 a.m. on weekdays, but it's shakes and that sort of thing. And here it is. Here the town is, another prairie town. Yeah, this is the Shake Shack, or Sugar Shack. Isn't that interesting? Just a little square box. Highly rated though, and recommended. Pretty cool. This is the menu. Get a look at everything. Sugar Shack just ahead. The side of those trucks there. But I wanted to stop at that. Probably gonna snag a picture. Pretty cool. I'm gonna put this cam on the dash and we'll travel into Rudyard and see what this quaint little prairie town looks like after the Great Northern Railroad disbanded. So we're going down the main drag here, and 35 miles per hour. Let's see how this town's holding up. Looks like off to our right we have a bar. Pretty big bar. It's a pole barn. Pretty cool. That'd be a lively bar. K-Lines, they call it. It's 25 miles per hour here. And this is the old rail grade. Now you can really see how the Great Northern Railroad absolutely founded this town. I mean, look at the old buildings. Too cool. Highline Theater. That is wonderful looking. I like that. Just a quaint little town. And that's it. That is it. Couple houses. A school. So I wonder if this is the only school here in this area off to our right's a school. We're gonna get a look at everything and check out Rudyard. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. And that's it for the town. That is it. Love that movie theater here on the corner. That is too cool. I'm gonna snag a picture of that. I've been going for about 20 minutes on this road. There's a really cool old church. I want to see. What you can see, there's just nothing. And this is a public roadway. Pretty wild. Worse than our mountain roads. And it kind of looks like right here, people have made their own paths. You know, when it gets stormy, and over years of just driving around whatever sinkhole that is, people just said we'll make our own road. They're pretty cool up here. I mean, this goes on forever. This is the first house I've seen in about 10 miles. Look at this homestead. Everything looks so retro. From the 50s. Yeah. Better keep going to our destination. I just wanted to see what the inside of one of those looks like. This is one of the coolest churches I've ever seen. It's just way out here. So there's 3 houses. There's one there, and that one I just stopped at. Look at this. Look how old it is. Whoa. So cool. It's insane that it's here. The floor is still good. This had to be the pastor's house right here. It had to be. No other rhyme or reason. That. Just a bunch of wood down there. But yeah, we've seen construction a lot like this in our other videos. This was definitely the pastor's house. And when you think about it, so look where we're at. There's not a lot of trees, right? No trees. And they built this, of course, with wood, but this is milled. So this was shipped in and brought in on horse and wagon. I'm almost certain. The old stool. This is from the pews in church. This is all cast iron. Spectacular. Maybe at one point they had a furnace. Definitely a wood burner was here. This was the back patio. How crazy is that? All the shingling's wood. Oh, Bun Bun. They had a chimney. And a crawl space, which is where the pews are. You almost think it's gonna blow over. I can't believe there was a bell in that. That's definitely a legitimate bell tower. And you can tell this was used. This was used very frequently if there was a pastor on site here. I mean, look at it. They even went as far as putting cast iron railing. Pretty primitive and not the best looking, but electricity. Oh, there's a fuse box here. It looks like that was the ladder up into the tower. So think of how small you would have had to have been to get in that. I just love these windows. You don't see that in a lot of the old churches. Splendid, splendid. But yeah, an electrical right there. I'm gonna get a few pictures of this and we're gonna head on our way. Well worth the drive. I probably went, I don't know, 30 miles of dirt road to get here, which is insane. And I saw maybe 6 houses in 30 miles. Way out here in the prairie lands, and I'm headed to the ruins of a roundhouse of a Great Northern Train roundhouse. And I saw this. Gotta stop. Whatever this is. I think this is a schoolhouse, actually. Definitely a lot of rattlers. It's trampling this tall grass. Gotta be careful. I'm just wondering what this looks like in there. Guess we'll see. Oh wow. It is a classroom. That's crazy. It looks pretty wild. The old sofa. This old furnace. This was definitely a classroom. Check that out. And the teacher lived in it. That Kelvinator. Come on. That's pretty crazy looking. Pretty cool. And something else I'm noticing is there were two outhouses, one for boys, one for girls. Right there is a boys, and right over here is a girls. It's a little thing I noticed while I was just watching it. Pretty neat. Sad there's not a plaque or something. This, a lot of people's lives revolved around this old history. This is a pretty cool little find here on the way to our quest to find the Great Northern Roundhouse. This thing sure is making a lot of noise. And the Roundhouse remains are right over here. We're gonna go to that. I just wanna see this one up close. Been passing so many of them. Just expertly crafted. And you can see it sitting right on the rail grade. It's crazy. This used to work with the Great Northern Railroad. This elevator right here. Really cool to see that old woodwork. Look at that old woodwork. Arthur C. Becker, Saginaw, Michigan. Some old light switches. I wish that plaque had a date. That's probably who did the electrical or provided something, or I don't know. That's a far stretch away. They had water. That the old lift. Still see the light up there too. Amazing craftsmanship. Anyways, that little side quest, we're gonna go check out the ruins of the Roundhouse. Now, it doesn't look like much right now, but you can see everything disturbed. And there's an interesting story to this place here. I will include aerials just because we'll get a clearer picture with them. But when the Great Northern set up this roundhouse here, at the turn of the century, they had no idea what sort of minerals were in the water table. And it turned out there were extremely high levels of alkaline, which in turn were corrosive to the steam engines that were utilizing water at this point. And they had to shut it down. Just like that. But here we go, we're getting closer. See this? This was the Roundhouse, the Great Northern Roundhouse. And it was demolished as soon as it came up because they started sabotaging their own engines with the alkaline water. Incredibly interesting that it's still here. And we will be able to get a clearer picture from an aerial view. But these are absolutely ruins from a Great Northern Roundhouse. See all the foundations over there, the footings. Really neat. Just about overgrown here. Yeah. Great Northern Roundhouse.
From what I could find from the Great Northern Archives is construction at this site and the surrounding outbuildings began sometime in 1889. This site, however, remarkably only lasted a few decades, before being slowly dismantled starting in the 1920s. There was, however, a large classification yard here, as well as many other maintenance buildings, repair shops, offices, and an ice house. Notably, however, a stockyard was active in this area until 1966. Keep in mind, the Great Northern closed down in 1970, and Burlington Northern Santa Fe bought up a lot of the track and is still utilizing it today. Also, not to know, notably as well, There was a station here constructed in 1917 that I believed provided the school with transportation and the surrounding homesteads as well. However, by 1923, the hotel was demolished. I couldn't certainly find when the Roundhouse was taken down, whether it was the invent of diesel engines and steam engines were obsolete. That's up for debate. All that remains, however, today is this concrete foundation, which is truly remarkable and shows the scale of what was going on in this area. And yet all we saw was a homestead and school and some abandoned, decrepit properties. But all in all, this was an amazing journey following the Great Northern Railroad, and I'm truly happy to share it with you. Thank you for your time, and I hope this video brought you some joy, as it did me, just covering this ground and seeing so much. And if you were to ever take this journey yourself or with your family, there is so much to see. I only touched the tip of the iceberg. This area is rich in Great Northern Railroad history. Enjoy, and thanks for tagging along. I'll see you on the next one, guys.